Chase here. Welcome into our next stop at our two-a-days. We are here at Community Field in Carrollton High School. Kail, Adam Ciereszewski here, and we'll talk with head coach Jim Ciereszewski in just a minute. But the Carrollton Warriors, they finish up last year 7-4, 3-2 in the EBC. Pretty good year. They go to the playoffs, Adam, and this year going to be a little bit different, minus a 5,600-yard rusher.
Yeah, that's obviously any team that loses that type of production from the offensive side of the football. There's going to be changes. We know driving out here today, we're going to hear about some changes that are happening out here in Carrollton. But the one thing we briefly talked about this, when you have a player like Chase Olstrom that you need to replace, sometimes you have those guys that have been, they've been putting their time in at the JV level. They've been putting their time in practices, and now they can have their chance to do maybe not exactly what Chase did, but close to, and have that production that the Warriors are going to need.
Yeah, and that's what's exciting about, I say exciting about losing a player like that, but it's exciting to see what was hiding in the weeds. What is coming up next? What's next for the Carrollton Warriors? And, at the running back position and a lot of these skill sets, they lose their quarterback as well. So we'll talk to head coach Jim Ciereszewski in a minute about, who's going to be replacing some of the kids that they lost. When you take a look at their schedule, they open up against Akron, Manchester in week number 1. Then they travel to Philo and Ridgewood, and then they got Garraway at home. Pretty tough schedule to kick things off. When you look at that, Adam, they finish up 3 of their final 4 on the road. Those are all 3 of those 4 are all playoff teams, and they have 3 straight home games, in the middle part of the year. So a little bit of, roller coaster schedule-wise for Carrollton this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's some new faces on that schedule for them, but they're all very, very good football teams, which is going to get them ready for league play and really let them know where they're going to be sitting when they enter league play. So, that's one consistent out at Carrollton. You're going to have a lot of kids, which we see out here on the field today. There's going to be a lot of kids. They're going to play that smash mouth football, and they're going to be prepared when it comes time for week 5 or 6, whenever league play does kick up.
The question will be that I have for Coach Ciereszewski coming up is, will you throw the football more than 32.7 yards per game? I would say yes, but like you said, I think Carrollton's going to play smash mouth football, and it'll be interesting to see what they do this year. It's going to be exciting.
It absolutely will, and Coach Ciereszewski will be excited. Passionate guy about football, great guy for the Carrollton Warriors. It's going to be interesting to hear what he has to say.
All right, welcoming in head coach Jim Ciereszewski. Coach, your 5th season out here at Carrollton and Community Field. Talk to me about how camp's going so far.
So far, so good. We had a great June and July. Kids going on vacation and kids playing, summer league basketball, summer league baseball, but they still made it to practice. And, finally August 1st has come along, and we've put the pads on and finding out if we can hit.
Absolutely.
And block.
You got to find out. Those are some of those key components, right?
Yes.
Coach, last year, another playoff appearance. You lost in the first round to a really good St. Clairsville team. How do you build off that momentum? Some of the younger kids that got to play in that playoff experience now stepping into key roles for your team this year.
Well, that game was against Big Red.
Oh, it was Big Red. You're right.
Right. We got to play them, and I was proud of our kids. They had to play 4 quarters, and we hung right in with them, and I was proud of that group. Last year's seniors was a very successful group. They tied with the most wins in 3 years that any team in Carrollton history. So that it was a really good group, and and now it's a new year, new expectations. Our culture and our team goals have remained the same, like we just talked about. But now there's different kids. They're going to have to step up, and you lost Chase Olstrom. Zach Parazio on defense. But, yeah, we got to find new kids to step in.
Well, and Coach, talking about losing a 5,600-yard rusher throughout his career here, only the third kid in our area that's ever done that. A special kid to lose. You say you've got a lot of good kids coming in. A Ryan Kiko coming in. Kreider returns. You've got another couple kids that are going to be back there vying for time in the backfield. Talk about them.
Yeah, and then there's Dalton Sweeney. And then we have a sophomore. So I think we got 4 kids that we can play at tailback. Our strength going into this is our offense and defensive lines right now. So we feel we can alternate at running back because those running backs are going to have to play somewhere on defense. So, yeah, we think we can do it with running back by committee.
And Jacob Whitmore going to step in as your quarterback this year. Coach, you didn't throw it a lot last year. Do you plan on throwing it more?
No, we'll still be, we probably like to run it 60, 65, 70% of the time and then throw about 30. We want the run to set up our pass, and we don't want to have to throw the football. And, Jacob, he didn't play much last year varsity. We had the Smith boy at quarterback, Caden, who did a good job for us. But we kept him on the JV team, and our JV team was very successful. And I felt that, Jacob was injured as a freshman on the freshman team, only played about half the season. So he was a little behind. So I said, let's keep him on the JV team. And he did a really, really outstanding job, and they were successful. So, I thought we could build on that. And right now he's our starting quarterback. And then Hunter Allison is our backup. He's a sophomore, nice, tall kid.
Yeah, he is.
If he's not at quarterback during the game, he's going to be at wideout for us. He's too athletic to keep, and I told him to be standing next to me.
Yeah, well, and he's a tall kid, like you said, where you can give Jacob somebody to go throw it up and let him go get it, right?
Right. And we have wideout, Braylon Murphy, who didn't play last year, who's back. He's about 6'3". So, yeah, we have some height there.
Yeah, definitely some size out here looking at your kids. Coach, moving to your schedule, you open up with Manchester right here at Community Field, then 2 in a row on the road, and then you'll come back here against Garraway and Akron, Kenmore, Garfield in week number 5. Talk about your schedule. 6 playoff teams this year you play that were playoff teams a year ago.
Yeah.
Tough schedule.
Yeah. Akron, Manchester didn't win last year, but they'll be much better. New coach. They'll be much better. And then we got to, take 2 long trips there, games 2 and 3, going down to Philo, and they're always tough, very physical, well-coached team. And then Woodridge, they're well-coached. And then, game number 4, and that's here. They're outstanding, and they've bumped down a division. They're well-coached, so – yeah, and then 5, we get a Division II team from the Akron City League, Akron Garfield. It's very competitive, and then we get into the league.
Right, and then 3 of your final 4 at home, I believe, which is a good thing too when you talk about league play.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter where you play, you got to win. That's the bottom line, and our first goal is to win the EBC. So. We'll see, and then let's get into the playoffs and win.
Well, Coach, we will see you coming up for our preview show in just a short time, and good luck this season. All the best to you guys. Look forward to talking to you each and every Friday.
You guys do an outstanding job, and we appreciate your coverage.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. All right, that was head coach Jim Salimos of the Carrollton Warriors in his 5th season out here at Community Field, leading the Carrollton Warriors. Kail, Adam Ciereszewski wrapping up our 2-a-days out here at Carrollton. Coach seems pretty excited about the season. A lot of key components, some returners, but some new filling in. Should be an exciting year for Carrollton.
Yeah, you could just hear the excitement in his voice. He's excited. This as a coach, this is the time where you get to see that development that you have in your middle school program, your JV program, situations like this is when you get to see that play out and pay off for the team. And yeah, he's excited for the season.
Yeah, and it's cool to see a coach who's been around as long as Coach T's been around, and he still gets excited for two-a-days. It's always great to see. So that's going to wrap things up here at Community Field. Carrollton High School, check out the Warriors this year. They open up with Akron, Manchester coming up in week number 1, and it's going to be exciting. We'll see you on the next stop of our two-a-days here on Big Z Sports.